A real Celtic talk show by real Celtic fans from the Carluke Shamrock Supporters Club on Hail Hail Media.
Right, hail hail and welcome to TikTok with Carluke Shamrock Celtic Supporters Club. My name is Richard and this session is being recorded on Monday the 3rd of December 2012. Now tonight's panel, this is a cracker we've got. First up we've got two regulars from the show. We have
Mr. C.
Mickey Boy. Welcome lads, good to see you. We've also got from the Shambolic our panel debutant tonight.
Mr. Lauder.
Are we going with Mr. Lauder? Can we break into Luigi for time to time?
Yeah,
right, good man, good to have you. Our TikTok virgin, good man. Ooh. Now, obviously Carluke Shamrock, you know us, we are on carlukeshamrock.com, and as we often tell you, we're part of the Celtic family of podcasts on Hail Hail Media, and you can find all of those guys out at hailhailmedia.com. And we've actually brought two along for you tonight as well. From the famous Temporary Stand we have
Johnny, it's good to be here, guys.
Good man.
And Scott.
And our Scott, welcome lads. Welcome to sunny Carluke.
Hello boys.
Made it through the snow gates. you brought your, you never brought gold frankincense and myrrh, but you got a big crate of Budweiser. That's a wee homeboy special. Cheers guys. That's much appreciated. Michael, on behalf of the club, can you throw back?
No, I think it was a nice wee surprise there, Richard.
Right.
Definitely. Well, maybe if we draw on the bus now for it. You know, that'd be for the members and that, you know. The problem we've got is a lot of members are under 18, so that rules a lot of them out, you know. So that'll be
drinking a full of raffle.
Oh, God.
Do we drink the bus?
No.
Nobody drinks the bus.
Allegedly. What were you saying, Mr. C?
You're talking about a lot of the members are under 18. Well, you boys weren't on the bus on Saturday. There was only 4 of us out of 18.
But why did they come here? Because you were at the pub.
Young team.
No, but we came in.
That was a story.
So when we come to talk about the game on Saturday, we'll leave you out.
Aye, we'll skip past them. We've got one of the young teams going to phone in.
The full bus couldn't add up their ages to me and John Haddle and Mr. Hads, that's probably what I call him.
Right.
In the front seat.
All right, all Jack and Victor in the front seats.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Good man.
No wonder we went astray.
Right, so let's turn to our guest. Johnny, let's have a wee plug of stuff. If a Celtic fan has kind of maybe not came across Hail Hail Media yet, or maybe they've seen that, they've only caught a few of the podcasts, how would you describe to them the Temporary Stand? How do you kind of put forward your show?
Well, I think we are seen as the Huddleboard podcast.
Right.
Because quite a few have posted in there for a few years.
Aye.
Don't know, got a few boys there in Ireland, and then there's a few in Glasgow. So we do our Skype.
You do the Skype thing, right?
Which works sometimes, and sometimes doesn't work so
And
well.
sometimes Scott does it.
then we give Scott grief for no editing it quick enough. But I think we try not to agree too much with each other when we're doing the podcast.
I've noticed that's a part of,
you know?
Aye, I've noticed that.
So it's good to have different opinions.
Definitely.
So we've got some quieter guys, we've got some louder guys, and we just try and mix it up a wee bit.
And you try and keep a certain frequency if somebody's trying to tune into you. You do it every once a week, you at a certain time, you try and meet a certain night, or you just kind of chopping and changing.
We had been doing it on Sundays, and then we kind of, due to other people's commitments on the pod with the kids and stuff like that and work,
Aye.
we moved it to Thursdays, but Thursdays hasn't been working so well for us.
Right.
So we're going to have a wee review again.
Alright, you're going to have another review. Right,
Because we've missed a couple recently.
Aye.
So we've not been doing it every week, which we've been trying to do.
Yep.
So we're going to have a wee look at things again.
It takes a bit of work, doesn't it, to try to do it once a week.
It takes a bit of commitment, you know.
It's a fair bit, it really is.
But it's something you want to keep going because it's enjoyable.
Exactly. So folk can tune in and get the crack. Where can they find you on Twitter?
At Temporary Stand.
At Temporary Stand, good man. Now, Scotty boy, we've seen your lovely face at the Paul Larkin book launch. How did you enjoy that?
Oh, tremendous night. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I took the good lady a long ways.
Let it go, Michael, let it go.
And I don't really know what she was expecting, because
but is it your internet geek pals? You know what I mean, you know? So,
These dodgy guys.
so we went along, and we know the Wakes well, so obviously Wakes been there kind of Celtic for me, but an absolutely great night. And
Aye.
big Paul's some speaker, isn't he?
Oh,
Don't get me wrong, he goes on for a bit, but he's brilliant. He captures their imagination, just the way he's talking. And his books, I've read one of his books. I'm going to get this book,
Right.
and I'll have a good go at that as well. But
Good man.
the BAM about Joe was excellent. You guys done a hell of a lot of work, far too much work for me. I duck cheese, but no, tremendous night. And I would encourage our boys and encourage anybody listening to get your arse along to the next one, because it's definitely worth it. And the fact it's cheap bevy and all, so happy days.
Brilliant, good man. And Michael, you were there as well?
That was a good night.
Right.
Like Scott was saying there, Paul, he does capture you. You know what I mean? We were at the one, Blackfriars, you know, and that was more like a sort of dingy environment, whereas that in the association, it's all been done up. It's the big stage, etc. And he was like
That's true, it was better actually.
You know,
Aye.
I'm not just thinking that there was a bigger crowd there. It was more the fact that he's up on the stage. It was brighter. You could see it better. You know, it was the
Aye.
nine pillars and all that.
That's right.
But he does talk. And he does capture you, but it's like a wee bit like a politician, I would say, you know. He's like, you know, some of the things he's coming out with, you know. But he does obviously put a lot of thought into what he's going to be saying, and the things he did talk about is all relevant to us as Celtic fans.
Aye.
You know, the memories we've had. Obviously, I'm not as old as Mr. C,
For example.
but
Thank you.
you know, but he was relating to a lot of things a way back. Like I was reading the book, the previous one, and talking about going to Tynecastle, talking about going to Dens Park, places like that. We did all them. Scott and I were talking about this before we came on here. You don't go to away games as much now because circumstances have changed and different reasons. And Paul was relating to a lot of that stuff on that night, and I thought that was tremendous. You know,
Aye.
it's not just talk about winning trophies and things. Let's talk about other things as well, and that's what he did. He did do, you know. And apart from that, he did mention our club in the book as well, which is
Yes, aye,
which
we've
was
got a
good.
nice wee chapter in there.
Aye.
In fact, when you come to that, we talk about the temporary stand. We kind of describe these as the other babies growing up together, you know, in Hail Hail
Aye.
Media, because obviously we kind of started off at the same time as you guys. It's
The
been a fun,
black
fun
sheep
journey.
of the family.
The black sheep, aye. I don't want to share that, but aye. And Mr. C, you've bought enough Paul's books that kind of you got him to number one in Amazon personally, didn't you?
No, probably.
And to get you even some more signed copies at the night as well.
I just think it's so fantastic to be part of this now, after all my years. I don't understand half of what's going on,
How
honestly.
it all works.
Richard can't even help me on it, but
The only man inside a podcast that doesn't know what a podcast is.
I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what's going on.
Brilliant.
But
I'll tell you what you're doing. You supplied us all with a bottle of beer there, ain't you? Cheers for that.
God bless
but that's well known to a lot of the people that are listening to me out there. Because I only found out recently that I've got a lot of people out there listening to me that don't know who I am.
That's right. Family members, apparently. Some of your, is it nephews or something?
Or nephews,
Aye.
Nephews out there and listening to Mr. C tell me the other week there, see you Kaluk boys. He said, doing really well. I says, we're no bad, Did you know them?
Do you know them? I'll talk to Mr. C for you. Brilliant.
So Tony Callahan, any of them out there, keep going boys.
A wee shout from good
Your
man.
Uncle James loves you.
Stop revealing your names. You're a mysterious
no,
Mr.
I
C.
just said your Uncle James.
That'll do me. Right, boys, let's crack into the football then.
Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, 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 tock.
Right, so obviously the first thing we do is look back away. So 2 quick games we can kind of capture in. Luigi, a belter, Tynecastle.
Yes, didn't go, but
Celtic
watched
4.
it.
Yes, seen it on the screen?
Yes.
Aye.
Very impressed, aye.
What do you think of the boys?
I thought they played really well.
Were you worried beforehand?
I was.
Were you?
I was,
Aye.
because the foreign that were going into that game, you're looking at slum up. But the foreign away games have been a lot better than the
Amazing.
home games, aye. The home games, once I kind of mean the last time we won the league game. But I'm not too concerned because I always thought at the start of the season we'd probably win that league by about 80 odd points. And that's
80
odds. But a lowest probably for years for Celtic to win it. They'll still win it. I was concerned going into it.
Right.
I was that concerned only bet 2-0 for an away game. That's my
Oh, jeez, that's not like you.
No,
We don't call you Fred Bet for nothing. Dear me.
No, it's really good. Impressed. And then you go back to you go to the Saturday game and
Aye. Well, let's stave off that misery for a wee bit longer. Johnny, what do you think of the goals themselves?
Well, the set pieces and crosses have been a focal point of our game. I mean, I didn't think we played very well against
Right,
Hearts
kind of overall.
at all. I thought that Hearts tried to drag us into a kicking match.
Aye, they did.
But we kind of managed to resist it, yet Willie Collum was getting a lot against us.
Oh, God, Scott's pal, Willie Cole.
Well,
Some man.
Mr. Collum didn't shine that night.
He didn't what?
He didn't shine.
He didn't shine, yes, that's true.
Well,
You
he
could
changed
you could change one of those letters, couldn't you?
Oh,
Aye, a bit dodgy. Aye, so you felt we were kind of getting dragged into that sometimes?
I didn't think we get dragged in it. I just thought Collum was a bit.
He was
At
stifling
best,
it?
he was
or-
a bit harsh on us. I mean,
Right.
specifically the booking he gave was it Ambrose right outside the box. I mean,
Aye.
the guy just fell. I thought he was very harsh, but
Aye.
I didn't think we played very well. Yet a few good crosses in, and we've scored 3 goals, and we're an easy street.
Took care of
And then
business
half time
after,
was 3-0, and you knew it was going to go that way, and then we'd score in the last 10 minutes, which we done. I'm just surprised we never scored another goal. We
even
made it
more.
5-0, you know.
a bit
Aye.
poor Hearts team. I don't know. Didn't they after get beat up yesterday as well?
Aye, they've had some week, yeah.
Aye.
Look at that for a young team these days. Hearts. They had a few of Tau, the boy Novikovas, they were on the bench.
Yep.
So we done well. I'm not too worried about our away form in the league. It's
Aye,
very
just like
low.
Luigi was
We
saying.
expected
it's-
to win, but
Yeah.
it was good that we won 4-0 without playing very well.
Aye. Scott, guys that stood out for you in that particular game?
Before I come to that, just what Luigi said there, I agree with that, Luigi, and I think it's more to do with you're worried about us than Hearts. You're no interested, because Hearts aren't a
Right.
good team. Hearts are crap. You know what I mean? And you see what's happening with them, and they're a midnight club anyway, but now the fact they're even worse. But you're worried about us because you don't know
Don't know
if
where
they're
you're
going
gonna
to turn up.
Correct.
If they're going to... Because, see, let's be honest about it, Celtic are playing within themselves. It's not as if Celtic are crap. We know these guys are good football players,
Right.
but they're playing within themselves. So, to come back to the guys who I liked, I saw after it, Gary Hooper got a lot of criticism. And if he's went to the game, then he's got the game.
I was to the game though.
Right, so,
Aye.
Gary Hooper bust his ass that whole game, bust it, man, and he was up, he was
He did more
chasing.
that night and he'd done
Aye.
a couple of times.
Aye.
But because he's no on the focal point, he's no on the telly, there's a lot of criticism. The boys at the back, you stand out, you say who's the standout. Fraser Foster, boom.
Something else.
Oh, this boy's a superstar.
Aye.
He is a
There's one I
superstar.
watch it.
I think so.
And a guy that one of the other podcasts was talking about, a guy that was it Christmas time, I think it was, last Christmas obviously, talking about, would we be too fussed if we never tied him up for another loan deal, etc. He'd become
Aye,
that way in
aye.
his form.
Well, I'm going to bum myself up a wee
Oh,
bit.
here we
I
go.
don't often do
Aye.
it. I don't often do it.
So,
right?
on you go, on
can,
you go.
can you confirm that, Johnny? Does he not often do that?
I'm saying nothing.
Right,
Go for it.
But what happened was we had Arthur Borich with an eccentric goalkeeper who was winning his games.
Aye.
He was winning his games, and he got to the point he was losing his games. Right, the Hibs game, for example. And,
Right.
So he was making these mistakes, and then we get Fraser Foster after Zaluska, and he wasn't costing us nothing. At that point, he wasn't winning us nothing, but he wasn't costing us nothing.
Right.
And I says, do you know what? I'm happy with that.
Right,
I'm
okay.
happy
I
with
think
that.
it could be a lot to do with the coaching guy. He's meant to be really good.
So how come nobody's saying about the
Steve-
coaching
Steve
guy?
Wood.
Which
Aye.
How come nobody's saying about the coaching guy with the Polish fella then?
Uh-huh.
Oh, it was Zaluska.
He had a couple of dodgy games,
I think-
I think, but he's still a decent keeper.
Zaluska's?
Aye,
Aye.
but Foster's a different
Oh,
kettle of
aye,
fish.
aye.
My wee bit with Foster again,
Aye,
the other night there, was against Hearts.
right.
And it was against Hearts, to me, that Foster became.
Yeah, with the penalty save and
The
stuff,
fair
and
one,
this
aye,
kind of thing.
aye.
And then another penalty save the other
Aye.
night.
Aye.
But
See,
that was it, and that made that man.
Aye.
And that man's no looked back since then.
That's true, aye.
And I think he's outstanding.
His own kind of personal turning point.
A lot
See
of
the
things
way-
have changed for him.
See the way he saved that penalty the other night, just like, here you.
We were in
A big hand.
we were in Marshall's house watching it with Shally. Sorry,
Were you at the summer house? Were you? Summer house. Official summer house.
What 30-40 is in it as usual, and
Wee quiet night, was it?
I was. And you know something?
If you boys think this chapel always good, you want to see the summer house, by the way. We need to get you back for
Through there
that.
for one night.
Oh,
And,
man.
I would say the majority of us in that summer house actually believed he was going to say before he
I was going to say that.
And that's the confidence, Scott, what you're saying there about the guy. He's now starting to talk to the defence as well, because Big Wilson's not a great communicator at the start. He's now starting to do it. Big Ambrose as well. A lot of nationalities there as well. You know, it's going against a wee touch. But the interesting thing, you know, like my stats from the Hearts game was.
So you got your stats, Michael?
It's wrong, blame Sky, but he said that Hearts had 10 shots on target against Celtic's 5. That's alarming. Right?
Aye.
That's what it said.
I can't remember
according to
that
Sky,
coming up.
and it was only Celtic only had one corner kick.
Aye.
You know, aye.
Against 8 or something.
Aye. Now, their possession was 46 against their 54, so not a lot in it right that way. But for a shots on target, it's 10 against 5.
That's mental.
For us to score 4 with 5 on target, you know what I mean? And back to what you're saying there about the getting the 3 early goals, or getting a couple of early goals, should say, just settled the nerves a wee bit. You know, getting a half time. Neil gets them inside, says, right guys, 3-0 up, but don't take your foot off the pedal. But I think we did, you know what I mean? I watched Hooper. Hooper did run about. Hooper did burst it.
I mean,
and he
even-
needs to burst it.
Of course it does. Even Chris Commons, again, a guy who was labelled by no having a good game, was contributing a hell of a lot in the game.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anybody in the side. I mean, I wasn't impressed with Kyle so much in the first 10, 15 minutes, and I was getting quite frustrated about it. But then he stepped up as well, and you're sitting going, now you feel a wee bit more comfortable with him playing the centre part against Spartak. He's no Victor.
Right.
He's no Victor. But,
of course.
But this is what we're looking forward to, aren't we? We're all everyone's aiming towards the next European
And
game.
that includes the team.
Aye, of
And
course
that's
it
what
is. Of course it does.
And the play of the Hearts game.
A wee bit that I got against the Hearts thing, it was about the OG, right, that we got.
Yep.
Now, if you look back on the Inverness game, the same sort of thing happened,
Right.
and it hit off the post and come back out, and we
Right.
didn't get that goal. Now, if we'd have got that goal against Inverness,
Aye,
Oh,
sure.
with a,
Who'd you say what happened?
Game over.
you know, so you need the wee breaks, you need things to happen for you.
Aye.
You're saying we weren't super against that.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Just
I think
under
the
things.
I think the stats prove that.
I
did
say
they not?
Mr.
That's
Collum,
true.
the stats, Mr. Collum didn't help us any.
No.
Other things, but we got the breaks. We got a break here and there, a break there.
Right.
But I think the biggest thing out of that game as well was Fraser Foster saves. Some of these saves were
Yeah,
tremendous.
yeah.
I mean,
Aye, it's not just the penalty.
Aye, no, I mean,
That's
forget the
aye.
penalty, right?
Aye.
But some of these saves, Jam,
The
was
free kick,
absolutely tremendous.
and then the header after it.
No,
Well, that's it. The stat says they've had 10 shots at target. There's 2 in the space of a second. There.
Aye.
You know what I mean?
Aye,
And
true.
the big man, as you say, his big massive Kenny Everett Horn was in front of Everett. That's it.
How old are you? You're older than Luigi. Remember that? Sorry, Luigi.
Anyway, that.
Aye.
And is that settling us in? Is it the back that's settling you guys more now than the strike force? Just to kind of touch on that, you know, is it seeing the big man in goals, for example, and knowing guys like, you know, Ambrose and Wilson are knitting together
I'm
well?
confident with defence, and I think the midfield, without Scott Brown in it, is a bit kind of lacklustre.
Just energy-wise?
Energy-wise.
Right, okay.
You need an engine in there, and Kyle, at the moment, just give him a couple of games.
Still
to
coming
go.
back, of
That's it.
course, aye.
Yeah, but hopefully for Wednesday night, if he's playing, he'll be. And Bruno will play. But
Well, a complaint that we've had over the past couple of years, and I dare say the Carluke club's the exact same as any other thing gone, is that we all wanted a centre-half, and we seem to have got that centre-half, and even Big Wilson's grew as a player. So you've kind of solidified the centre-backs, and your goalkeeper's not giving you any problems. I still feel the midfield is too disjointed. We all love Victor.
Aye.
As you say, right, Scott Brown, we need Scott Brown in the team, but you've got Scott Brown in there, you're saying we miss a wee bit of class, we miss something there.
No.
We need to find a blend.
Correct.
Because it comes back to the forwards. We're going to come to forwards, but
Aye.
they forwards aren't getting chances.
Right.
I mean, see Gary Hooper, you can criticise Gary Hooper all day, he might be fat, he might be lazy, stick a ball in front of him, he'll stick a ball in the pokey.
Aye.
And I don't feel we're feeding the strikers anywhere
Right.
near enough
Right.
for a club like Celtic. Anyway.
Aye. Okay.
could be teams shutting them down as well. I mean, they were
The
start of the
opposition.
season, the oppositions maybe,
Right.
maybe they were overlapping, getting the crosses in. Maybe these teams are they're looking at them and putting a stop to that. We happened to Hearts, never play.
Maybe they were a bit open for us and allowed us. Aye.
Right, and allowing those spaces. Johnny, who is your kind of preferred midfield these days? Do you prefer to chop and change with depending on the opposition, or do you prefer to play the way we should play and you've got certain guys in mind?
Well, away from home, especially in Europe, I think he's got it right.
Right.
Because we've got to find a place in the team for Mulgrew because his delivery into the box.
Something
and
else.
I don't think he's a good enough defender
No.
to play at the back in Europe. So playing him where he is and away from home in Europe works for me.
Right.
But at home in the SPL, then we need to go more attacking.
Mm-hmm.
We need to change. We need to get a defined system for playing at home because teams are doing to us what we done to Barcelona,
Aye.
and it's working for them.
Yep.
And then we miss Forest big time, and we're missing Izagir as
True,
well.
true,
He's
aye.
bombing
Brother
on the left.
absentee, aye.
He's got really good pace, and Forest got good pace. Sorry, they kind of take defenders out, which makes space for the likes of Hooper, and they'll put the ball in.
Can make
But
that
Hooper
supply
puts-
that Scott was talking about.
Hooper lives on
Uh-huh.
for these guys balls into the box.
True.
It's even what Johnny's saying is even Adam Matthews. Adam Matthews hasn't had a great season, and Lustig, quite rightly, has took the jersey.
Right.
But Lustig's as much as he tries, he's no up and down as much as Matthews. He wasn't pulling guys out of position as much as Matthews does. And there's you losing. While you might be getting a wee bit more solid at the back, you're losing that wee bit of dig going forward.
Right.
What's the story with Forrest? What's the latest one?
I think he's coming back soon. I don't even know if it was a hamstring or a groin injury.
Because it's not been a lot been said about it in the
Aye,
press.
it's been kind of just ticking away in the medical stuff. Right, now you mentioned home games. We need to jump to it. Michael, Arbroath.
I'll give you another set of stats if you want, guys.
Oh God,
This is even more alarming than the Hearts ones.
We're getting them
Right,
tonight.
I'm going to tell you something.
I'm
I
going to
couldn't
check this
believe.
with the BBC.
Will you
man.
check it
When
against
go-
that
when you
because
go.
this is off Sky was shots on target 7 against their 2.
Yes, right, got that.
Which I
Yep,
thought-
7-2.
Now, if you take it back to the Hearts game, it was 10 against 5 in Hearts' favour. It's a bit worrying there at home. 7 shots on target, right? Now, I know we're going to talk about the strike force in a little while. But during this game here, shots off target 12. You know, what's going on here? It's Arbroath are playing here, guys. You know, and I looked at the team on Saturday and I thought, and I'm one of these guys who's a wee bit cynical as well when I look at the players. I think, all right, you look at their value, but you look at how much they're getting paid and you look at what they've done in the past. That cracks me up a wee bit. See, when I hear people say to me, but they've not played much this season or they've not played in that, I don't really give a, you know what?
Monkeys.
Aye. You know,
For 90 minutes, they should
aye,
be.
90 minutes, you know, and there's certain guys there that just need to take a look at themselves, I think. But again, we just didn't do it. And it's this home form thing. Is there a cloud over Parkhead? I don't know what's going on, but hope it's away for Wednesday. I've got this wee belief that it's a good week, bad week thing with Celtic now, and it's like last week Hearts, midweek, bad week Saturday, bad game Saturday, good game Wednesday again.
Just
It's
Forest
not
Oh,
bad
go with that
thing.
logic. I'm in.
So I'm excited. Hear that, Vinny. Hear that, Vinny.
Latch on to anything.
It's been there
Celtic's...
for many a years, but
See the other stat I was going to throw in there was we'd 10 corners.
I was going to say that, aye.
Right, against their none.
10-0, aye.
Right, but we'd only 57% of possession at home against Arbroath. Only 57. I'm sorry, but that just doesn't matter up to me. Either they've got it wrong or something's not right.
Does the replay worry you?
Good question, Legia.
I'm more confident going there.
Aye.
well, I don't know.
That's just weird, isn't it?
But I take it back to Johnny's point.
That North Sea blown out that wall. I don't know.
But that's an away thing again.
I think Johnny's got it down to a T there saying that the away games he's got an away team set up.
That's
but,
what I was going to
you know what I mean?
say.
It's going to
Away
these
games
teams that you know. But I couldn't believe it. I unfortunately couldn't make the game on Saturday. My ticket's still in the house, and I was getting text messages left, right, and centre. I couldn't believe it. It was one each. I was shocked.
I thought it was a wee opening score.
I don't think anybody around this table was it the game was it?
Scott,
Yeah,
Scott.
Scott. Aye.
So, was it Celtic bad, or did they both play no bad?
Well, we'll always look at it for the Celtic way. We're always gone. I mean, it takes a good man to take a step back and watch a game and watch 22 guys in the pitch.
Aye. Right, Johnny, you're a good man. Can you? No, carry on, Scott.
So on Saturday, it was a case. See the guys on the pitch. You get the feeling they didn't want to be there. Because I was sitting there and I didn't want to be there.
Aye.
You know what
I was
mean?
going to say that. Is this wider than the team? Is this
Definitely.
a Celtic thing?
I mean, as much there's a load of guys like the Green Brigade have made their decision. Right?
Yep.
That's a whole other podcast, as you know, where again the rights and wrongs. I mean, did they see it as an easy one to dip? We'll just no pay your £12. No question there. I don't want a whole load of tweets or that. Do you know what I mean? But they're not going to dip the Spartak game. It's fair dues. They've got their own problems. I'm not going to get involved in that. On Saturday, it was easy for the fans to go, nah.
Right.
And I don't say that as a big time Charlie. I was there, kind of came, and I went because at that point I was like, if I was hungover, I probably wouldn't have went. Do you know what I mean? But see, the guys on the pitch, Miku didn't look interested.
Right.
When Yam at times, you know what I mean? The wee boy Ibrahim looked right up for it.
I want to play forward.
Wanted to get the ball and try to attack people, and it was exciting enough for us. But there was that step up in class that just wasn't there for him. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Boys, there was, you just say the only 2 chances to go and scored one of them. Right? And it just, but you saw the game as it went on. Well, that 1-0 up for a bad mistake for their guy. God knows what he was doing. And then you see the first half, no pressure, and see the stats. They were dilly-dallying on the ball. They were getting the ball and they were trying to make the perfect goal. You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
Very digging.
It was. And I dare say, see if Celtic were in there like if a broth question Celtic say they're hopeless, we would have run there and destroyed them. I don't think it was a case of that. I think it was just a case of getting caught in the hop. But as Mr. C says, it seems to be happening a wee bit too much. A wee bit too much.
And is it wider? You know, is it the team? Is it the fans? Is it everything around about Celtic? Because it always seems
It's just everything.
quieter.
I'm not going to say we're missing somebody, are you?
No, because we're no missing. Because I'm nobody missing, as far as I'm concerned.
No,
Larson.
another team.
Aye.
Another team a bit
Oh, I see the road you're getting down right.
I knew where it was
Okay.
going. I knew where it was going. I'm going to lose you.
I said there was no swearing on this podcast. Come on.
He never mentioned.
You say that other team, whatever.
No, I just think I can't put my finger on what's wrong.
Aye.
Right. You said about having possession, having this.
Aye.
He's no up for it. He's not doing this. He's not doing the next thing. It's just, it's not there.
Aye. Whatever
But
it is.
it'll be there on Wednesday night,
Wednesday, correct. Aye.
right? And no matter what happens on Wednesday night, we're in Europe.
Uh-huh.
We're in Europe after Christmas, New
After
Year,
Christmas, aye.
and things will get better.
Right.
Well, we'll go. And
That's just Celtic's doing me.
They don't.
it's like, against Inverness, there were things happened against Inverness where we didn't get a goal.
Aye.
But it happened on the Wednesday night against Hearts where we did get goals.
Right, okay.
But,
Aye,
but,
okay.
but then, if you look back, the St Johnstone game was the same part. It's,
Come on.
I agree to an extent, but it's happened a wee bit too much. And I think the new, you either go two ways. You accept it the new with the realisation that, as you said, we're going to win this league, right? But
no 80 points.
We're not accepting it.
but it does. But it frustrates you, doesn't it? It frustrates you when you come out. And it goes back to what Michael says, guys are earning a wad of dough. This is their job, and we're sitting watching them, and it's crap, and you fling them the odd one.
I'm not accepting it, but I can see it happening.
yeah.
I can-
Right, okay.
Well, I think once this Spartak game goes, I think you'll see us step up again.
Aye.
In
Aye.
terms of the league,
No,
we'll
I
go and put the numbers on the board, and then we'll get ourselves ready for Europe.
I was more up for the Barcelona game off for Wednesday night. I don't know why. Keen him again. No, we played Barcelona and we Celtic would give Barcelona a game. I'm a wee bit concerned for Wednesday.
A wee bit.
Are you worried about a complacency thing? Or?
I'm worried about the Barcelona game over there, how they're going to take it. And
Oh, really?
I can see a draw over there in Celtic
Aye.
having to do a 1-0 to get through, or you know, it's.
Right, then don't jump ahead. Don't jump ahead now. We can't look forward. We're still got the agenda. We've got the agenda.
I'm not working tomorrow. I'm going to help.
Can I just say, losing against SPL teams is one thing.
Right.
No beating the Broth at home. Any given day is not unacceptable.
Right.
So we're just getting told in the changing room before the game, go out there, get the game won. Don't care if he's played well, just score a few goals. We don't need another game.
Is it easier to say than do?
It shouldn't be for the guys.
Shouldn't
No.
it be?
No.
Right.
Especially when the only goal you score is one of the worst OGs you're ever going to see.
That's just that was mind-boggling. Actually, seeing it. Do the fans need to get their act together as well then? because that was Inverness Cali, was a crap atmosphere. Obviously Green Brigade weren't there. I mean, this is Chris McGuigan for the Lost Boys was talking about that as well. He was at the game with Inverness Cali, and he just, like Scott was mentioning, he just felt kind of, you know, I'll watch it, I'll see what it's like. It's not the same as going to Barcelona with your hackles up and everything else.
I think we're alive. I mean, atmosphere. The boys have really put atmosphere into that ground.
Oh, incredible!
Incredible. And,
but the rest of us,
I think it's a feeling. I mean, I was sitting on Saturday because they wouldn't go to the game, and you're thinking to yourself, it's a cold day out there. There's no atmosphere.
all these kind of things.
You should be able to beat Arbroath, which obviously go back to Hunters, but
And you almost switch off. Is that a switch off?
I think Scott and I get the same point coming up here. There's
Right.
guys in that team there on Saturday, like Johnny's saying, they're good enough to beat Arbroath.
And
But
they
more
just
importantly, they should be wanting to stay in that team. Right? They should be wanting to take that step up to be a regular. There was 9 changes in that team for the Hearts game.
Right, now I
9
was going to
changes.
throw that in the mix as well. You know, is that part of the
9
problem
changes
as well?
now. If you want to, I don't know who you want to name in that team for Saturday, who you would like to see playing Wednesday night. You know, I don't know. You know, it's a tough one. But I would say that going into Saturday, you've got Neil Lennon, Johan Malby, standing at the sidelines there, close hands, seeing the players. It's up to them whether they pick them or not. Again, for the next few weeks, I'm talking about here.
And do you think some of those players just assume they're going to be there, and they don't need to? Can I get their game up against Arbroaths or?
I'm a big fan of Charlie Mulgrew, and I felt a couple of games there, Charlie Mulgrew just felt as if he had to turn up to get a game.
Right.
That's what I felt like. I don't know if you guys agree, but it just seemed to be that.
Because he
impression.
was getting a game
Aye.
every week.
You know,
Right.
I mean, at least Charlie McGrew is trying.
you know, it's like
Okay.
you're talking about
I'm not
Matthews,
too
Lister,
sure of it.
competition there.
Saturday's
You know,
crowd.
thing.
Right.
But Jam, see the crowd. Let's take it back a wee step here. The crowd doesn't matter.
No,
It's
no,
like-
crowd,
Guys,
I'm
you
talking
put the hoops
about
on.
Saturday,
You've got the
Saturday
select
team.
tap on.
Aye.
You've got the hoops on there. You should be rolled the sleeves up and going, mate. You've got a captain there, Scott Brown. Should be making sure every player was on their toes in that game on Saturday. Every player.
Should he even have been playing?
That's what I've puzzled
Aye,
me.
another
Why was he
question.
playing?
Aye.
Why is he not saved?
But as a couple of boys in the other podcasts
much
have said, exactly. We
Not
don't.
run about.
I'm no doctor, and none of us are doctors, and
Aye.
we don't know. He might stiffen up. He might be knackered. He might be saying, "I need to play. I need to play."
Stops
Aye.
playing and stuff.
I sat beside a guy at Celtic Park, Brian Conley, right side of the lights. You might hear him on the podcast and that. And I've got him one side and his brother on the other side, you know. And Brian's got this belief that Lionel Messi is in his contract, if you're fit, you'll play. And doesn't matter.
Sponsors, look at the sponsors.
Aye.
I mean,
And look at that guy, he plays what? How many games a season? Argentina,
ridiculous.
right through, cup games, you name it. He's away playing all these daft cup games for Barcelona. Every game he's fit, he's playing. See all this caper? Oh, too many games?
Too many
I'm
games,
sorry,
yeah.
that doesn't wash me either. They're up there in Lennoxtown getting pampered. You know. Anyway, I've killed that bit.
Oh my God! Michael, you've done it again.
Susie wear the hoops.
Okay,
That's
okay.
what matters.
That was a sore one.
It was very sore.
Done and dusted. Let's look forward then. Righty ho. We spoke about it. Wednesday, Johnny boy, Spartak. What's going to happen? And are you Man United about it? Are you getting all excited?
I think we'll beat them.
Do
I
you?
think they've got nothing to play for. I think Russians have got maybe a stereotypical view on them. They've got nothing to play
too
for.
cold for him.
Now, what about the... It's too cold for them. Brilliant. They're not playing in Carluke. They're playing in Glasgow. What about the manager changing, but
Aye.
is that no giving them an impetus for playing?
I don't know, because Carpin was their manager and they get rid of him. Now he's back in, so I don't know if he's the most popular guy in Spartak, but I think he's in with the oligarchs over there.
Yep.
So I think he's back in, but I think they get beat again at the weekend.
Correct.
Pump for two.
Yep.
So I don't think they'll
But
be
you
up.
think mentally they'll switch
I don't
off?
think they'll be up for it at all. I think we will
Right.
be up for it.
Mickey
There'll be a full
DOG.
house.
Right. I mean,
Nah.
DOG.
So I think we'll beat them.
Aye.
And I don't expect Barcelona to get beat in the Nou Camp. I think Barcelona
Right.
play a strong team because they're at home, so
Uh-huh.
they can afford, they're not travelling or anything, so they might play a stronger team.
Aye, true.
Messi's
Okay.
gone for all these goal scoring records,
Uh-huh.
That's right.
so he's only got a couple to beat Miller. No, so I fully expect him to play.
And he's certainly talking his game up. You know, he's talking about doing it for his Celtic fans.
Oh,
and he's
well,
wanting
where
to
did
cope
you
with
read
the
that?
Miller thing. Luigi brought me on a fax.
Well done, Mr. C. I'll give you that one. Yes, Mr. C.
I was from The Guardian.
Oh, it's all right. It was back page in the Daily Ranger today.
Right,
I'll
Scott,
do it
now,
for the Celtic fans.
the temporary stand always argue. So you want us to get beat 3-2 and you think Barcelona's going to get beat, is that right? Because you need to argue with Johnny now.
Not going to argue, but I have got that. I have that eternal Celtic pessimist in me, right? I have got that. You've been bit in the arse far too many times to think things are going to go smoothly. Do you know what I mean? Because we've said it a million times, anything can happen.
Aye.
You know what I mean? Anything can happen. We could walk out there and...
So where is your fear? Is it here? Is it Camp Nou?
It's, do you know
What's
what?
the
I don't know.
balance?
I really don't know.
Just Celtic.
It's just the Celtic. It's just the Celtic
That
thing.
sums it up, by the way.
Aye, that does sum up. Right, everything Johnny says makes 100% sense. Right. I think if we go out there and we play the football we're capable, and we play the tactics in the game we're capable, and everybody fires, we can beat Spartak, right? But we shouldn't be writing Spartak off. I disagree to an extent there. I think they'll be coming to prove a point.
Think so?
They'll still think we're better than them. Right, this has just been a bad year. The manager's got to get drums on, the manager's got to change it, whatever. You'd like to think Barcelona beat Benfica.
Right, okay.
You'd like to think. So I really do think it comes through your side. I think if we get our job done, if we go and put the points on the board, 10 points, to not get through with 10 points would be criminal.
Right.
But again, Celtic could be it.
We've been there, because we did it with 9 points. We were the first team to do it with 9, weren't we? The Martin O'Neill
There
years.
was a turn in there. There was always something.
Luigi,
Yes.
what's the strategy? How do we go about taking care of them? Is it hell for leather? Is it relaxed?
Once you hear the Champions League music at the start, that should be enough for them. I mean, that's...
Can you make it in time? Because usually in the pub.
No, but Chamber
You'll be early. You'll be early.
I think they've got to... Well, Neil Lennon will have them sorted out for it.
Right.
And hopefully can get the result.
Any certain tactics in mind? You know, one
I
up
think they
front
go,
and just
well, I was going
keep
to say
the
that. I
back
think they'll play
tight,
tight.
or-
I wouldn't go daft.
You wouldn't?
They've seen it,
Right, okay.
Scott was saying it, they've seen it over the last few years. And
the Celtic
team
fear.
run up the park, scoring the last couple of minutes, and you're looking up at the new camp to see what the result is there, and it's like, here we go, and
Heartbreak.
the nerves are just done, and before you know it. But we've always got the Europa Cup, which probably in July or August when the draw was done, you'd have probably took that.
Well, this is it. If we rewind it back and
I'm not
we're honest with ourselves.
If it doesn't happen, but I want them to try, and I want them to get there and give 100%.
And how hopeful are you? What's your kind of percentage that we're going through?
As I was saying earlier on, it's probably more comfortable. I know we weren't expected to getting out of Barcelona again, but I always felt we haven't seen them over in Barcelona. Where Barcelona were up for it, I don't know, but I think if Celtic play the potential in Europe, they'll beat them.
They'll take it. Right. Okay. Michael, pessimistic, optimistic?
I'm looking forward to it. Like Luigi is. The music starts it for me like big time. I don't know what you guys are. I'm quite childish when it comes to that kind of thing, man.
You're very childish.
The Champions
Would you
League, the Champions League music just does
You
it for
taped
me.
it like you, so.
I wish taped it.
You watch it, I love the club.
If you were on Sky Plus,
You love hearing it in the pub just before he goes out of the stadium. You love hearing that music in the pub.
Mr. C, I think that was a dig at you there.
No, it's not to do with me, son.
no.
No, I never said that.
You,
word.
Mr. Haddle.
Aye, so you're up for it.
Getting back to what Johnny says here, he's got a team in mind, I think, for these games.
Right.
It's a different level playing against Jared Grove, Sheridan Inverness and that. You know, Sammy will start a game.
Right.
Without a shadow of doubt. You know, and you see him.
Mr. Europe.
It just seems to be night and day to these guys, you know, or to the teams. I'm looking forward to just being there, like Luigi says here. We're guaranteed after Christmas. That's the biggest thing we've got to think of here.
Superb.
The team we've built there for very, very little money
Aye.
against these teams that we're playing against are selling players at 20 and 30 million. Benfica sold guys this season 20 and 30 million.
Crazy
You've got
numbers.
guys here. I mean, remember we played Atletico Madrid, that Falco, you know, £35 million.
Unbelievable.
I mean, he didn't do nothing at parquet that night. He didn't stand out. But look what he's done since.
Right.
You know, he's been phenomenal. But we're just glad to be there, and I think we'll do all right. The big boys will be back, let's just say.
Right.
Joe Ledley will be
And they'll be
big,
switched
big
on.
guy for the game and that as well,
Aye.
definitely.
Okay.
I'm going to throw a wee spanner in the works here.
Uh-oh,
I would
uh-oh.
be absolutely utter concerned if Scott Brown didn't play.
Okay. Just because his fitness levels and stuff.
I think, you know, we've got other guys here as well. If he's struggling, I wouldn't play him at all. I would fill the team up with, like Scott
Fit
saying,
guys.
fit guys.
Right.
Because that's what we need on Wednesday night.
To make
we need
sure.
a team that's going to win that game. Or
I would tend to
Perform.
agree with Victor was playing, but never mind it's him. So.
you were that, but you
A big
know,
loss.
Aye.
But look at Johnny says I think in one of our podcasts, you look at the Barcelona game, we had all these guys doubtful, we had all these guys, and I don't think any of them made it. We ended up just putting a straight 11 out who were off fit. And then the parallel happened against Benfica, and you saw we struggled with it. We struggled. We couldn't make our subs to the best effective the team. We couldn't change a striker to change a tactic. We had to change a guy because he was injured, and we had to change him because he was quote effed. Do you know what I mean? So
right.
So you're having to make your essential 3 subs. You're having to make them to maintenance the team rather than affect the team.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Moving his chess pieces about.
Exactly,
His hand's
aye.
getting forced. Okay. And talking to him and his hand, Mr. C, would this be historic for our Lenny?
All I'm going to
Heading
say,
through?
3 words.
3 words. 3 words, right? Okay.
I'm
Okay,
going to
go.
give you 3 words.
Right, go.
Bring it on.
Bring it on! There you are! Is that with an exclamation mark at the end?
That's it.
You ready for
That's
us?
it.
You could play in this game, couldn't you? I mean, you're ready for us. You could put the bumblebee socks on and just head
You
over.
want me to bring Peter Grant back?
No. And that's 5 points for mentioning him again.
Is our friend McGeady fit again, or is he still injured?
He was
He's played.
He came off the bench. He came off the
Aye,
bench.
he's talking about
against-
proving a point and stuff.
aye.
That was a big flex. Luigi sent me by
Bring it on.
Was that in the flax at all? Was it?
Massive, been on for a while. Right, score predictions.
2-0.
2-0.
1-0, sneaky.
Oh, God, it's
One
going to be
nil
bloody
sneaky.
nervous. Right.
Bring it on.
Right, okay, we'll leave you with your Peroni.
I'm
Mickey
going to
boy.
go an early 1-0.
An early one now.
Score a goal early and sit back. That's what's going to happen.
Oh, Jesus,
Aye.
that could
Heart
be.
attack material.
Oh, God almighty. Luigi?
I'm going to go 2-1.
2-1.
Celtic to score late on. and
For the
to,
win.
to win. And then we're looking at the result over in Spain.
Oh, come on.
There's a bit twist in the tail, there will be.
When I try to get a signal on my phone, you can't get a signal in Park 3. You need to go to Sky Sports News to check.
I've got to go 2. I think they'll score. I think Spartak will score.
Do you?
Good forwards, aye.
Aye.
I think Celtic will win it.
Right,
I'm taking a
okay.
heart attack in about it now, man. Never mind the game.
Just wait till our music starts.
Bring it on.
Now, just before we wind that up, looking forward, have you had a wee peek at December? Just talking about Spartak and stuff. It's busy.
Very busy.
You know, you have a wee butchers at that. Come
Well,
on
the
up.
Boxing Day
Obviously,
one was
the
good.
one that we
Oh,
had lined up
aye.
was Dundee
Silly,
United game.
wasn't
That's kind of out with the Arbroath thing. But you know, St Mirren, Ross County, Dundee, Hibs, all squeezed into
Where are
December.
you going to get a point there?
You back to panicking again now?
Dr. Glenn.
Well, once we take care of Europe, you promised me
Oh, well,
we'd switch
that's-
back
we'll
on.
go now.
Finishes off with a cracker, doesn't it? That Hibs game's eyeing up to be a beezer.
We're
aye.
playing great, you know.
Aye. That's our official day out that day. Our
Is
club.
it?
The
We're
Hibs.
going- Aye.
Oh,
We're going to the
I'm gonna go
Edinburgh.
that game, mate.
We're going to the Edinburgh number 1.
You never told us that, mate.
no way.
It's
Not with the famous Stoogie
only
Penny.
for you and you.
No. It's just getting arranged in the gym. You'll
Is it?
find out about it at the
Oh, that's a
weekend.
wee shambolic away trip.
Yes.
Oh, dearie dear.
I don't want to say too much, but there's an Irish band playing after it.
Right, okay. Okay.
Yes, so-
Have you got 2 guest
We're
parties?
signing,
Oh,
we're signing up here. We're signing up.
Boys, you're invited.
Oh, we're in.
There you go.
We're in.
You don't come to Killook with beer and not get invited. You're here for life now.
Boxing Day, 7:30 kick-off.
Have a cracker.
Looking good for that.
That's right, dude.
About 5:30 go to game.
Might not get in
Is that the
again.
one you're going to? DJ, going up there.
I wouldn't mind, aye.
Well, he's looking forward
We
to
took
it up
names
there.
for it.
I don't say I'm going up, but
Chance of minibus going to that game, so
Nice
it's
one.
right for Boxing Day.
Nice one. So this is a month we're obviously going to be playing with that squad then you're talking about. Moving people about, resting folk, whatever is going to be
I think
required.
it's Scott says you get this game out the road Wednesday night and we get a result.
it.
I think we'll
That's
settle
it.
down.
Just relax a wee bit.
Aye.
Aye.
Put a bit of pressure on myself for that to be the case now. Because that's what people keep saying.
True.
Once Europe's out of the way, we can focus, so we've got to win the games.
Aye, put a wee bit of fire under the players
But
then.
we know this team can do it. They've done it in the past. They done it last year when right at this point we started streaming the league back after them who should not be mentioned. You know what I mean?
Good
So
man.
I
them who
think
don't exist.
that's
Guys, they're dead.
one bowl of beer. We're wrecking it.
Father will be in a minute. Oh, brilliant lads, right, well done. We'll move on. Right boys, we've done the kind of football, looking back, looking forward, so hot topics at the moment. Scott, you didn't want to talk about the Green Brigade boycott because there's a lot involved, so what's your thoughts on the Green Brigade boycott?
To be perfectly honest, Richard, I'm not sure. Right, I'm not sure. Right, I know a few of the Green Brigade boys,
Right.
and I've got a lot of respect for them as
Yep.
guys as well as what they've done. Lloyd just said it earlier on. See, they've transformed the stadium.
Oh,
right,
incredible.
they've transformed the stadium, and what you've got to remember is they became new because the Green Brigade isn't that whole section. The Green Brigade's a load of members. And all a young team, I can imagine if I was a young team again, I'd be up there. I'd have a drum half of or something.
magnet.
Oh, exactly.
They're no all young boys.
They're not, that's,
There you go.
you in there, I don't know. Is this you get that drum of you?
Is this an exclusive?
No.
Worcester C Green Brigade.
They're no all young
fact is they're all
boys.
seat of
that's
stadium.
true.
They're no young idiots.
They're lucky
No,
apples.
no, they're certainly
Intelligent
not.
people in there.
They're certainly
definitely.
not. And they're politically minded lads,
Uh-huh.
which isn't a bad thing. As
Yeah.
much as people want to tell you it's a bad thing, it's not a bad thing. They're clued up, and the way they're getting treated is disgusting for guys who just want to go and support their team.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I think you could probably say we've done, or everyone has probably done something worse than them at the
Aye,
football.
definitely
Do you know what I mean?
Definitely
Right? Right, so we've all had our discrepancies, right? And I actually, it frustrates me. I was talking about it. It was a statement by, I think it's the general manager or the chairman of Borussia Dortmund.
Right.
And he said, once you start treating your fans like customers, you've lost.
Oh, really?
And I thought,
right.
well, what a sensational
I
statement.
think it's time that Celtic put a statement out that supported them.
Yeah.
I mean, they're that fabulous atmosphere of Barcelona game, and the photos and the pictures that's getting made, selling the Celtic shirt for
selling
40,
them.
50 quid.
Aye.
Green Brigade
They've done
obviously
that. Aye.
made it.
It
Celtic's
cost them
making a
money.
money out of it, and then they're going to slam in the face.
Aye,
I
right
know.
with you.
There's one or two probably in the Green Brigade or whatever's happened, but in general they're getting hounded by the certain people.
Surveillance is just
which
incredible.
is-
And that's just the stuff we
Guys,
see.
you talk about guys' livelihoods, jobs.
Aye.
People going for jobs and not getting jobs because
That's right.
the police tap man and things like that.
Wee
That's-
phone call
that
here
shouldn't
and
have gone. I mean, where else in the world does that happen? It's
Exactly.
just-
Well,
Scottish football. For,
I'll give you a wee thing that we just heard at the weekend there. I got a grandson who is very pally with a lot of the Green Brigade. He went to Celtic Park for years and years. But all his friends become Motherwell supporters, are Motherwell supporters.
Right.
So he's become going to watch Motherwell with his pals. Went up to Pittodrie on Saturday. And the treatment that the Motherwell fans got from the police up there on Saturday, according to him, was terrible.
Right.
The way,
Kind of corralling them in
you know,
and video
pulling them up and
bits of everything.
take your scarf down,
Spot checks.
take your scarf off your face. What you got in your pocket? I've got gloves, let me see them, all this.
Right.
A lot of things. The wee fella was telling me this last night, you know, and he's no a bad guy.
Aye.
We know him, right, you know.
So is this wider, Johnny? Is this the kind
think
of, is
it's
this
that,
wrapped around that whole bill thing? You
Aye.
know, the sectarian bill. They're just trying to prove a point, whatever it is, backing up politicians.
Well, I think it is, and they're politically minded. And
Aye.
I don't think, my brother, who's on the temporary stand, he's more into this kind of thing. He was saying that the police don't want politically minded people
Right.
rising.
Especially organised.
Aye, and they're
And
organised
these
as well.
guys are very well organised.
So the police, the police,
the police.
the police are after them.
Aye.
And I think the boycott, for me, a big bit of the boycott is to force the club's hand into getting involved, because I think the club are just sitting back a bit and letting it happen.
Aye, it's kind of very woolly language from them, isn't it? Because you could a while ago you could have said, aye, the Celtic, what are you expecting? They're all fuddy-duddies, they haven't a clue, blah, blah, blah. But there was the Celtic Supporters Club, was it the Govan guys, Govan Emerald, released a separate thing, and straight away Celtic were on that.
Aye.
And they're releasing statements and talking about internet rumours and stuff. These guys are watching. They're
course,
watching
yeah.
Twitter, they're watching statements about boycotts and
To
stuff.
come back to the initial question, I just didn't see they've paid for the season tickets, and it was a 12 quid for their Broth game. They're hardly making a big dent. They're making a dent by no being there. If the Green Brigade done a protest that same day, I would have went with them. I just didn't see the point in no restricting yourself for doing something you enjoy doing. I understand why they do that. They do that. They did. I understand why they did it.
Right.
But I just didn't see any real outcome to it. I didn't think it was going to affect anything.
Right,
I mean,
okay.
ultimately, this Spartak game is the one
Right.
for them.
That's the one to
But
make a
again,
stand.
do you want to deny yourself? And we
There's no
really,
rumours that we're going in.
and we need them. And
Boy,
to be
well,
honest, I think this team need them,
Sure.
and I'd be gutted if they.
And you're kinda caught between
and,
those.
And I think them at the club wouldn't sit there and go. I think they would worry about it if they said we're not going to that.
Right, okay.
And it's not a criticism of them; it's a criticism of the method, because I just didn't think it done anything.
Right, so you back them, but you thought maybe the tactics
See,
were
if
a
they'd
bit
done
different.
if they'd done a protest, it was more
walkout,
vocal,
everybody
a
walked out,
walkout,
something
like
and
that. That kind of thing.
a big
Aye.
come with us, we're going,
Aye.
and
Gotcha.
it showed, because I don't
Well,
think.
At the Inverness game,
the 12-minute thing.
the 12 minutes,
Uh-huh.
the whole stadium
Aye.
backed.
Apart from 3 boys behind us, by the way.
Was it?
Aye.
Clocked.
With a wee word. But to be
That's
fair,
typical, that's typical.
that was in the posh.
That a corner?
Well,
that was
apart
in the
from-
posh corporate.
Aye,
bit.
it was the
Oh,
corporate
yeah,
Apart
yeah.
from-
That was my virgin experience in the corporate hospitality bit.
Well, apart from 3 rows behind me,
Uh-huh.
which were the 3 rows in the main stand, right? you know.
Right.
But the whole rest of the main stand
Aye,
were
definitely.
all up.
Yep.
Everybody was up that time frame.
Aye.
Right.
So the club
Stand
know
up
what's
for
going
the stand up for the
Making
brigade.
an absolute mint of merchandise.
on. Aye.
You know,
The logos,
Well, what
where the
they-
logos coming from?
What I believe they
Glasgow's
were-
green and white.
Correct.
Aye.
What I believe they were on about was that, and I don't think the Celtic board or whatever you want to call them, or anybody in there, could do anything about it, was that they weren't fighting against what was happening. They were getting approached by the police who had sold a season ticket in 111,
Right.
and they were forced into giving this information. What the Green Brigade is trying to tell them is, don't give that information.
Aye.
But I don't know if they can get away with that.
I couldn't see how at any junction the club have to give up information about fans.
Well, I don't know.
I mean, was it
police
that?
come to you.
I was going to say, aye.
there's
I
your
don't-
records or
But
whatever.
you think
probably
you
got
see
a few
that
cards
that,
to
that
play.
Milton Keynes Dons game,
Uh-huh.
the weekend there, they never had any cops at the game. It was all stewards.
Oh, was it?
Huh? And that, and they-
No, it's a Celtic policy to
that-
employ them, aye. It was-
that threw me. I thought you had to have police presence.
Aye.
Maybe it's a Scottish legislation, but I couldn't believe that they never had any coppers. So you've got to say that Celtic are in control. It's not the coppers who control a stadium, it's Celtic control. And I really, and come back to what we said straight away, see if the Celtic stand up and go, no, we back these guys. All they're trying to do is support the club and give us an atmosphere, and that's what they've done. Even as poxy a statement as that,
Aye.
I think everybody will
Where,
like
where I
this.
sat,
Aye.
which is just in front of Green Brigade, you can see the tunnel with the police. I've got the cameras on them all the time.
Right.
And they don't give them a hard time. They just wait for any excuse
Just
to
constant.
get up there,
Aye.
and they're on the radios, they're on their walkie-talkies. And that's, to me, shouldn't have been it.
Just intimidation.
Intimidation.
Aye.
They're trying to get an atmosphere, and they're creating an atmosphere, and you've got obviously. But Celtic should put a statement out for the likes of
Luigi,
that.
it's not like the 80s though. When if you go to Nick at a football game, you were out the next
That's a
day,
joke, man.
and
Aye.
see
A wee
nowadays you're getting
slap.
criminal
Aye.
records, and they're
Correct.
keeping you in court all day, so you're missing days of your work. They're purposely hammering you, and it's not. And they guys have got to decide, and because I'm telling you right now, it's not worth my while getting to jail going to football.
No.
So I'm no.
Again.
They,
Again.
Always good. I told you before we come on here about the time we went to Tynecastle. You'd said, "Have they seen you many away games?" And that. I said, "I've not been for a while. I've been to away games, but not many." I was at Tynecastle. It was the game before Neil got attacked, and my ticket was.
Was
in
it
amongst-
the same game?
Aye,
That was?
aye, but it was like all the press was building up to it, saying the Green Brigade this, Green Brigade that, and there must have been maybe 20 coppers with cameras in front of us, you know, just videoing you during the game. How can you watch a football game by a guy with a camera in front of you? Like, chase yourself, no, you're getting lifted for speaking to me.
Aye,
That kind of
exactly.
attitude, what do you do, you know? It's, and then at half time, we went down to the toilets, the pie bit and all that, and a riot broke out with the coppers over it all, you know, with the guys, and it was mental.
Oh, right.
And, you know, it was just ludicrous how it got that bad.
Just
And I think
aggressive
that was-
right for the off,
Aye,
isn't
and I think that's
I don't think
probably
that-
where it started.
Politicians
was
certainly
probably
don't
the
help you
games.
as well. You
I
certain
remember-
politicians are
Just clowns. Just
Desperate
grandstanding,
for-
aren't they?
aye.
Aye.
it's a vote winner though, isn't it?
Correct.
If they go to
Seem to be doing
the,
that.
I think
the
they
pub and
should be
say,
standing one. Well, divert into football. Don't bother for sure.
I think the boycott served its purpose. I didn't go to the 2 games with solidarity, and before Scott
did you?
says anything,
was
I've been
working.
to... I'll
Aye, that's my excuse to Saturday. No,
no,
no, Christmas tree.
the Inverness game, I walked to the Inverness game
It's like the Christmas
because they got at the game, but I've been to the Forwards game, the League Cup and stuff. That is what the guys are sacrificing it, so I'll not go either. But I think it served its purpose. The atmosphere was probably crap at the Inverness game and the both games, so I think it served its purpose.
Right. Made
And
a
I
big
think it's
statement.
going to,
And that might just
go
be the first
towards-
play, of course. You know.
and it's going to go towards the club maybe getting involved and taking more a stand in it. And the fact what proves to be the case, then it was worthwhile.
Okay. See
Yeah.
how that unfolds. Something else that's unfolded, Michael. The authorities from one set of idiots to another set of idiots. SFA talking about finally doing a fan survey. You know, they never asked the fans anything during the kind of summer period when all hell was breaking loose. But now apparently they want to ask us, and they're also talking about reconstruction and everything else. What's your thoughts around all this?
I'm going to
madness?
turn it back on to the host.
Nice one.
I don't think that's how it works.
No, I'm going to turn it on to the host because I know that in the past there's been these things, there's been tens of thousands of pounds spent, Henry McLeish report and all these things here. What does the host think here? Because we get to get your views here. Because I know that when we did the last
You know, I'll just cut this out.
no, the last report was done, you pulled me up in the podcast and said, did you fill out that questionnaire? And I said, no.
You never.
Right, you remember? So I'm going to turn this one back on you here.
Right, excellent question. Mr. C. Should the leagues be reconstructed at this point? Or is it all just nonsense? Are they all just kidding on Armageddon's here? You quite happy with the way things are?
There's nothing wrong with
Nice
Scottish
tight,
football.
nice tight league.
It's looking better than now
Aye.
because of certain things.
Are they just trying to seem to be doing something? Aye.
It's
But
another
to
way.
help
It's another way of bringing Sefco in.
Aye, hell, Liverpool.
I agree with that.
You know what I mean?
Aye.
I'm glad
It's
somebody
so-
agrees with
it's
me
just so
because I'm
transparent,
I'm
isn't it?
usually put up there as an old,
An old steady.
I know, whatever, who hates them
Which you do. So it's a fair point.
and doesn't want anything to do with them
Aye.
and can't believe that we're still talking about them.
Exactly.
Crowds are up this year. I mean, you watched the Hearts Hibs game yesterday, you know, a sellout.
Aye.
Aberdeen is a big crowd.
The stats not
So, I
been
mean,
quite
what are we
impressive.
talking
but-
about? What do they want? What do they want
Why are they shaking stuff
to
up?
change?
Aye.
Right, they changed it before it helped them,
Aye. They're trying
and
to
it
change
didn't
after.
work. So they try to change it to help them again.
So is one of the questions here about amalgamating all the different authorities in? SFL,
No,
Well,
no,
fair
no,
enough,
no,
that's not even
that's
on the
no,
table.
that's not what's on the table.
Which is
Basically, the Scottish Football League came up with this great plan. This is what we suggest, and they went to the SPL, and the SPL have come back today and went, no, we're going to have 2 SPL, and it's going to be, was it 12 each or 24 teams?
Aye.
12 each, and it splits into 3 leagues of 8.
That's a belter, isn't it?
That was the one I liked as well.
Aye.
3
Right,
leagues
somebody's
of 8.
woke up during the night and goes, I've got an idea
Aye,
here,
well,
look at
I've
a
got
bit
an
of paper,
idea,
right, you know what I mean?
Good to get Rangers back in this.
So I ain't woke up, they're still
But
sleeping.
when all these
That's
hassles
good
been
work.
going on in the past, it was SFL, SPL, SFA,
Aye.
all these different ones, you're going, oh geez. Then it was like, the Junior Association was getting mentioned at one point as well, you know what I mean? How can they have the same vote,
That'd
you
be
know?
one thing. I'd be if you were going to do it, I'd like to get the whole pyramid thing, but that again, that's a different podcast for a
Gotcha.
different day.
Aye.
Yes.
But with regards to that mob getting back up, I agree wholeheartedly with Mr. C here. Right, I'm no want none to do with them, and if they bring them up, then you're cheating. You're cheating every fan who sat there and went no.
Aye.
You're cheating everyone, and I can't believe that. Who's the top man? Is it Reagan's the top man at SPL?
SFA. Doncaster's.
Doncaster.
SPL.
I can't believe
Aye.
you've got that
They're still
Plonk.
there.
You've got that Plonker Green sitting there slaughtering. I'll
Charles.
never be in the SPL. I'll never be in the SPL. And,
Charles doing a great job.
and see if they even invite him back in after what he says.
Aye.
Yeah, I can
Aye, just a joke, a total joke. I've got the FTT decision written down here, but you know what? I'm sick of talking about them. So, you want to jump out of the Celtic Strike Force?
Yes.
Johnny, it was mentioned
They're not
earlier.
the same thing.
It was mentioned earlier about Miku. No really done it. Might be kind of gone back early, or just not taking the loan deal any further forward. What's your thoughts around him? Has that been harsh? Should we give him more time? Because sorry to jump in, but we spoke earlier about guys like Fraser Foster. One point, maybe only two first about him. Big Sammy, you mentioned Mr. He's Mr. Europe just now. He wasn't cutting a while back.
Lustig.
Lustig, aye. Is Miku in that mould? Are we rushing things, or would you go along with that?
It's a bit different because he's only on loan. I think we've been maybe quoted 8 million to buy him in the summer.
Aye, come on.
He's not showing he's worth 8 million.
No.
But he's not designed for the SPL, is he? He's not designed for the likes of Fraser Wright ramming into the back of him every time the boss played up to him. He's designed for Europe, and after Wednesday we've not got another European game until February.
Right.
So that's a lot of time where he'd potentially go on the bench. So I don't think he's suited for the SPL, and I've been a bit disappointed with him.
Have you?
Because I championed him when we signed him. I thought he was going to be a great player.
Big name. Loads of La Liga clubs really interested him if it doesn't work out, etc.
He's played for one of the smaller teams in La Liga who thrive on counter-attacking.
Right.
In the SPL.
That's not going to help with us,
it's not
is
going
it?
to work in the SPL. We work in
I
Europe.
think we could do it in our broth.
Look for that own goal. Scott, would you lose much sleep?
It's frustrating.
Aye.
I find it really frustrating. A lot of podcasts, right, I'm going to mention them just one last time.
Go for it.
When they went by the by, I felt it was a good reason for Celtic to become more, play that number 10 type of football. Have a guy in the middle who you can allow a wee bit extra time to get the ball and knock it wide and get Celtic playing some good progressive football.
Right.
And we bring these guys in, and we didn't give him a chance. And then see against Barcelona, he had a smashing game. He had a really, really smashing game. Exactly what I was expecting from him. And I thought, yes, we've cracked it. And then he never played against Benfica. And I found it really, really strange. And Saturday, as I say, Saturday, he looked not one iota interested in playing that game.
Right.
So again, it comes back to, are we ultimately going to sign this guy? No, probably not going to pay £8 million for him. You know what I mean? So is it worthwhile stunting guys like Lassad? Because Lassad's starting to look like a player. So maybe for our own sake, and when McGee's now looking like he's coming back into the fold, he looks really short of fitness, but when he comes back in, maybe we should be embracing this guy rather than the guy that ultimately we're not going to have. I think it's frustrating that, as Johnny says, he's not lived up to what we thought we were getting.
Sure.
But are you going to agree about it? Nah,
no, if it's just a wee cheap loan deal. You're not
you'd
too
rather
fast.
see Tony Walk get his shift up front than him, wouldn't you?
As long as it doesn't mean Bangura's coming back.
Oh,
I hope he doesn't pull on the jersey
bang,
again.
bang. Hey, he's
Or
banging
Darryl
him
Murphy.
in.
Stokes is
Darryl
coming
Murphy.
back, hopefully.
Stokes is coming back. Aye.
It's good for a good couple of goals.
Would you be chuffed to see him
That's
coming
a
back?
Stokes to behave this year.
Aye.
Stokes is made out for the SPL. Maybe not in Europe as much, but I think
Right.
if he was playing, it would be a big difference.
So all these games we're talking about ticking off after Europe's out the road, Stokes is a guy you'd be quite happy with
The
for
month of
those.
December, it
Aye.
was suiting him all the games, which he did the last year of scoring
Aye.
14 goals.
Great shout, aye. Great shout.
Mr. C, Lassad, mentioned earlier.
I think
Impressed?
Lassad's a good player. I think
Aye.
a really, really good player. Whether he's going to get a chance to come through and do what he does, I don't know.
In what way? Because of the SPL or because we're going to be playing other guys?
I think he's good at for the SPL. Because I don't think he minds your Richie Fordens and whatever you want to call him can up his backside. I think he
What are you saying about the boy?
Allegedly.
Allegedly. I think he can handle that.
Right.
I just... Miku, I'm not sure.
Right.
Miku,
Passing on him.
I don't think.
Have we agreed here that Sammy's not a striker then?
Sammy.
I think so. I think we've moved him to a winger.
Sammy's...
Sammy's Sammy, isn't it?
Aye, that exactly sums up.
special
Sammy
Sammy.
is Sammy.
Aye.
I mean, look at all these great goals that Celtic have scored in Europe
Aye.
in the last year. And it's been Sammy.
Captain
Can you
of Greece.
believe it?
Turn on.
No, you can't.
Jumping in the,
You know.
opening the doors.
He was captain of Greece there too, isn't he?
Aye. Michael, best strike force for Wednesday night?
I'm going to go with... I'm going to go against you,
Come on,
Scott.
Michael. Come on, Michael. Come on, Michael. It's not like you.
You want Miku up front on his own?
I'm going to go with Hooper up front,
Aye.
with Sammy supporting him with Commons.
In the back.
Yeah, just
we
behind
go
them, and then swamp the midfield a wee bit better. So I want to
Okay.
do. Yep. Like I said, I'm not bothered whether Brown plays or not. I know it sounds quite harsh, but I don't know whether it's. I want to win this game big time. It's going to be a challenge. I watched it was the Benfica game away to Spartak before we played. Watched it in the pub, and it was a tough game. Spartak kicked everything and moved that game. I don't know what to do. You see it, but it was on Arsenal turf, obviously.
That's right.
But I'll tell you something. They're a physical team. You know, and I'm wanting guys that are going to fight here.
Well, there's
You know.
where you said you disagree with myself. I don't. I
No.
would have who were playing,
Right.
but it was Benfica.
Oh, with the
Benfica,
Miku thing, aye.
just the way they played, because they passed us to death. And the fact we underpassed ourselves to death, didn't we? We couldn't pass it every, you know what I mean?
It's ridiculous.
Oh, it was horrendous. It was
I'll
horrendous.
tell you something. Benfica are a decent team, Mark.
But of course,
But let's get back to reality here.
This is the table we're at.
Aye.
Aye.
You know what I mean? We're, I remember sitting in the podcast here arguing with a guy, their level's Europa. Like, no, it's Champions League. I said, guys, come on. Start doing it.
I done
You know what I mean?
the process totaling up what the Dodge spent on the players, and I think Barcelona was €200 million, and both teams were sitting around €90 million, €100 million,
Right.
both Benfica and Spartak.
Right.
And then you add up, I think we were like 18 or something, €19 million. You know what I mean?
Aye.
And you're saying, God, as you say, we shouldn't be touching this.
This shouldn't be happening.
So we'd be sitting where we are, part of the patch.
Well, we're sitting now taking deposits for going to Europe after Christmas.
Aye,
And that's
exactly.
you know what I mean? That's the bottom line. We're sitting as a club now saying we're going, whether or not we take a bus.
I was going to say, what a club you've been in playing, look.
It's just in the back. You've never seen it because it's dark.
Mr. Caesar Pilot.
Oh my God.
I'll pass.
So, like, Michael's the steward and the blackguard. You get it?
Right.
I've actually looked at
Passport control.
Chatting a fight
Jesus.
Jesus.
If ever there was an entry to Shambolic, that was it. Let's go.
Shambolic.
Shambolic.
Right, Shambolic, thanks for that, Chico. Right, this is obviously the wee section in the show where we go off the beaten path. And I gave the boys a wee key phrase to run with, and that phrase was carryouts. Now, to kick us off, we've got a wee presentation here from Michael, just passing over to our guests. There you go.
Outstanding.
Man, thanks very much.
Carluke Shamrock bottle opener. There you go.
Cheers for that.
Superstar,
guys.
thank you very much, gentlemen. That's brilliant. Really appreciated.
That gives you honorary membership into the club.
Excellent.
You're allowed to drive the bus 4 times a year.
Excellent.
And you can come to a sports do.
I'm in.
It's all part of the keyring.
That's it.
Thanks very much, guys.
and you can leave at half time with Mr. Craney, Mr. C.
Oh, I don't leave at half time. I don't get into half time.
Now, Mr. C, that's an excellent choice, Michael, because when I say carryouts, can you think of anything
I'm
you
going
want
to
to
just
get down that way with Mr.
Well, Mr. C said 3 words earlier. I'm going to say 1.
Right,
Aberdeen.
Aberdeen. Here we go. I thought you
Do you want me to tell a story?
I thought your word was going to be
Well, I
soup.
don't think you could really tell the story, Michael, because the true story's never been told.
The true story
right.
has never been. But tonight is the night.
All I know is that you covered all our drink, or you put all our drink in your rucksack,
It wasn't all your drink, there was only certain people there.
Select few.
and your rucksack had a flask of tea.
Soup,
I'll give you it.
tea, soup. What was it? Go on, tease it. Tease it.
We were going to Aberdeen,
Right.
the usual. I think it was a Sunday.
Was it Sunday?
Well, I don't know. We left early. We had a carry out.
Okay.
Sorry, God, we had a carry out. Right. We had the wee carry out. I had the wee carry out in my bag. I had a flask of tea.
You're right, it was tea. I
Aye,
thought it was
tea.
soup.
Aye.
Right.
Tea.
And soup.
Oh, see, I'm back
flasks.
in. I'm back in.
Soup.
2 flasks.
And sandwiches, rolls and cheese or whatever, you know,
See.
in my bag. So we headed off and we up the road, sing song all the way up, drinking our illegal carry out.
Okay.
Okay, I'll put my hands up to that then. So we got to Lawrence Kirk.
Yes.
Nice place to stop, Lawrence
Lovely.
Kirk. You been, boys? You been?
Good wee pit
No,
stop.
oh, if you're up to Aberdeen, go into Lawrence Kirk. It's a nice place. We were in it-
There are other tunes available.
No, Lawrence Kirk's the best. Because we're not allowed to get to Stonehaven. Because
No.
Celtic supporters are bad for them. Anyway, we went in Lawrence Kirk, nice free place, had a drink, come back to the bus. Right, boys, dump all your empties, everything out. Right, and there was a certain wrong guy come on the bus.
Shall not be named.
I'll not name him, but I'm waiting an apology. He came on the bus, he says, I got the last bottle of Bucky out the shop. I says, oh, look, you can't take that with you. You'll need to put it away. So I took the bottle of Bucky off and put it in my bag. Is there anybody else that get any drink? I've got 2 bottles of Breezer.
Bacardi Breezer.
Who's drinking
For
that?
God's sake. So, do not
A
reveal
relation of yours, Lizzie, I'm sorry.
that. Had to be.
Who was that?
I'm not
To be a
saying,
relation.
put it in my bag.
That must be a Burns.
It was a burn.
Oh,
And so we head off up the road. I've got the stuff off the boys. We're all right. It's in my bag.
we're all right.
I'm having my cup of soup and my roll. I'm eating away. And next thing, pulled into a lay-by, stopped with the police. You know, the police are waiting us on lay-by. I'm sitting behind the driver and the head pops in the driver's door window thing, like, right, no, that's that. And he looks and says, whose bag's that? Oh, my bag's open. I said, that's mine, officer.
The elder statesman of the club.
Taking off. Aye.
Follow me.
Taking off the bus. What's that? I said, well, to be honest with you, I've taken it off the boys because I know they're not allowed it. And I'm keeping it in my bag. So that they can't get it. Oh, I can't have that, I can't have that. Name and address. Driver out. Name and address.
No, dear me.
Well, this looks bad.
A lot of the community as well.
This looks really bad. No, it was dead serious. That was it. We're up in court, we're going to get fined. Because
Driver, bus.
the driver gets fined,
Bunner,
the bus,
that's right.
the bus owner gets
Aye.
fined.
Your flask you took off you.
The buggers took my suit. Right? And all that.
Bucky,
So-
no pee and ham.
So that all got done, right? So we went, go to the game, come back home. I got home. He's in the house. It's late on a Sunday night. The wife's in bed, so I never said a word.
12 o'clock.
Goes to my work. The next day, come home early for work. I get home, did a wee bit of business. I was meeting somebody in the house, and the missus says to me after the boy went away, she says, have you got something to tell me? Oh, who told you?
Was it McGeever?
Oh, well, like that. And she says, no. She says, I had a phone call from Grampian Police.
Oh, jeez. Oh.
All right. Right.
We had, is your husband there? No, my husband's not here, but you don't know anything about it? No, of course you don't know anything about it. You know. So I think they buggers up, they were pissing us. I'm sorry about lying, but they were killing us laughing. They drank my bucky, they ate my sideways,
Ate your soup and then dropped you in it with the wife.
and then dropped me into the wife.
And
They
the
said-
Green Brigade think they've got the
and what happened was, they said, well, what my wife said was, you have to appear in court in Grampian, such and such, next Wednesday or something like that. And I just drained, went white. And she immediately says, no, I'm only kidding,
before you keel out. Excellent.
Well, I'm sure the buggers were,
Oh, aye,
they were laughing their head off, and what they said was, we pulled down all our buses, but as soon as they pulled down a bus, all the bottles come flying out the window, and they couldn't do nothing.
Aye.
So, well, I don't know if they were at it, you know, but they said, we're not going to do anything about
Took
it.
advantage. Shocking.
But,
No, like them.
Who drank the breezers?
eh?
Who was the breezers, Paul?
Can't reveal that.
Who were-
The breezers.
Keep it a
Bottley.
mystery.
No, it was a friend of Leeds.
It was a friend. It was a friend of a friend.
But they all know who they are.
Yes.
And they were listening. I'm waiting on an apology, boys.
I'll be in writing by Monday morning.
So that's the biggest carry-out type
Good
thing.
man.
And it was frightening, actually. It was frightening.
I'll vouch for that.
Scotty boy, carryouts, where does that take you? Big ones, wee ones, confiscated ones, desperate ones, whatever you fancy.
Right, I was saying to the boys, as like any Celtic fan who's got anything with them, they've got a million stories, and I've got a million stories. However funny they are to anybody else, I don't really know. But as I said, I wasn't wanting to bum myself up, so I'll put myself down with this one. We were, for some reason, we didn't go in the Vogue. As I said in the past, we're members of the Vogue, and it was myself and Big Fraser. Fraser's been on the podcast a couple of times. It was me and my big mate. So we went up in the James Stokes bus, which is also known as the Brazen Head bus.
Right.
So we know a few people going to Brazen. So we've jumped on the Brazen Head. And like the aforementioned Mr. C was talking about, we had 3 bottles of Buckfast between the two of us. Right? So the plan was a bottle each on the way up, and we'll have one for the way back.
Right.
That was the plan,
Sounds
right?
fair.
Aye.
So,
This is going to work.
well, okay, no problem. All the way up, we're at the game, madness. On the way back, no wine. No wine on the bus. And you've all seen Trainspotting, and you remember nobody leaves till after we've done it. But there's me stood in the middle of the bus shouting,
Turned into Begbie.
I don't care who yous are, I want my wine back. One of yous have knocked my wine. And I kid you not, me and Fraser had the bus upside down, and we know Willie well. So Willie, knowing us, didn't think we're at it. So he's practically got the bus turned upside down. No wine to be had. We've checked the back yet. And I've just sat down and I'm stolen wine, and then I've kind of sat there and went, Fraser, and he's like, what? And I says, he drank the wine on the way up.
You drank the wine the way
He
up?
drank the wine on the way up.
Yeah,
And he's like,
bloody just.
so we did. He says, what do we do? And I
You
says,
turned the place
don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. Well, just don't mention it.
Just keep looking
So
angry.
that, there's me just outed myself to the Brazen Head
Oh,
punters,
God.
alright? So we drank our own wine.
You're not be backing up, boss.
So you're making an apology. I'm
making
making
an
an apology.
So there you go.
Luigi.
Probably trying to think, a lot of experience with carryouts, but probably the worst one was we went to Hamburg
Right.
and we're at the airport, and obviously we're all just kind of new to go to these games, and we're coming back, and we're at the duty free,
Right.
and I'm burst for the toilet, and I says to one of our companions, could you hold my bag in out, I'm going to nip to the toilet.
Right.
So when I come back, my bag was awfully heavy. So you're standing in this queue,
God.
so they put vodka, they put whiskey, they put everything in my hold all, and you couldn't alarm the security, because if you started, you were going to get lifted. So you basically walk out with these bottles, and we go out there, like, that's my bottle, that's my bottle, that's my bottle.
Whoa.
That's how bad, I mean, I was shaking myself. But you couldn't make any, I mean, if you started making a kind of scene, you were going to get lifted. And the buggers would put other drink in my bag.
So is that the longest
And they never
walk
admitted
up?
it, Luigi.
Eh?
They never admitted it.
Never admitted that till we got out to the bus.
Shocking, but you knew as soon as you felt
I
that
felt
way.
my bag was
Aye.
off the ever, so there's somebody around there. That's probably the worst.
That's in there.
I was, aye. That's it, Mr. Mackay and that as well.
Right, from shifty people to another one. Johnny boy, what these carryouts inspiring you?
Well, after you sent the email, well, I got the email sent only for Scott. It started off as a very innocent trip. We stayed in Porto
Right,
the night before, and we're getting the train through to Lisbon. When It was a Benfica 3-0 game, and Caldwell scored an OG.
oh jeez.
Not that, no,
Again?
doing very much, you know. We didn't have a carry out for the train or anything, but it turns out we'd got on the early train, and you were assigned seats, so we get kicked off. The train about 20 minutes in at this wee tune, so we decided to walk up to the tune. Bought a carry, I bought a bottle of vodka,
Right.
as you do, and it was like, by the time I got to Lisbon, I was miraculous. And we were in the square the whole day, and said that there's always a ball
There's
floating about.
always a ball.
And I'm
Always a
for the
ball.
machine.
I spent ages trying to get a kick of this ball, and eventually I get it, I throw it up in the air to kick it, and some guy comes running and volleys it away from me. And I was raging, and I was that drunk that Scott could climb a statue, and I tried to climb it, and I couldn't climb it. I was like, geez, oh, I must have been drunk. And then we seen pictures when we get back to Lisbon, and he's he in the picture, he's the drunkest man alive. And how could he climb that? And I couldn't. And I'd somehow managed to buy another bottle of vodka.
Oh, for
And on the
God's
way up to
sake.
the gun, we'd planked it in a bin.
No, I'll interject here.
Oh.
What happened? He had this other bottle of vodka, but we had a wee hold all bag.
Right.
And now that way you're right up to the... And I've looked at... I think it was him, and I was like, you've still got that bottle of vodka in his bag, but we're in a queue, you know what I mean? I was like, what are we going to do with this bottle of vodka? I was like, right, we'll just chance it. So we went up, and the big guy is searching you, and he's doing all the part. And he goes in the bag, and first thing's a bottle of vodka, and he looks at me, and he's like, what are you doing with this bottle? And I was like, I don't know. So he dumps it in his bin. So we're all sitting wise, aren't we? We're clocking, look, he's dumped in that
Bin number 12.
We'll get that in the way out. We're away in the game, so you come out the game. We come out a different door. We're going through all these bins, man. You see all these Celtic fans look at us, we've got haunting bins, man. Oh,
No, it was number 12.
oh jeez.
Keep looking.
I think the coppers had it in their back pocket.
Mickey boy, you had a few other stories.
No, one of the ones I was going to say was before we had this lovely hall that Scott was commenting on earlier. We used to have our dances at Celtic Park, and one of the dances we ran a raffle, and I won a bottle of vodka. Funny enough, and I went to the toilet, came back, and it was missing.
It's an awful lot of missing bottles.
Aye. So I'm sitting down. Next minute, a guy that used to be a member of the bus, Willie McLean, unfortunately, is no with us.
A legend.
Started singing, Michael, they have taken your vodka away. Right, the whole place started singing it. My face was raging, veins in my neck and everything. Who's got it? And he'd hid it behind the curtain, you know, in the was it Walford at the Kerrydale Suite? I can't remember where it was. Anyway,
Right.
and it was the curtain. And that was Willie for you. Another story of Willie just springs to mind is
You going to see Aberdeen?
no, I'm not going to say Aberdeen.
I'd be one of Willie.
Aye, we used to go away a lot as a club. We still do. We need to get one organised soon. We went to Workington. Don't ask me why we went to Workington, but we went to Workington, rugby country. You know what I mean? And we went down there.
Only place you weren't banned.
Aye. And we weren't even 10 miles outside Carluke, and shouts for the back. P-stop, usual, you know, a drink. 10 mile, not even 10 mile I would say. So the boat Willie gets off with a bottle of bucky in one hand, you know, jumps off the bus, stands down a usual, you know, falls down a ditch, rolls down a ditch, comes back up covered in nettles, still get the bottle of bucky in his hand. Not a drop spilt, you know, that was Willie for, you know, and it's just our club, it's just, there's a lot of diverse members, I would say, you know, age groups. There's a lot of young team coming through now as well, you know. You notice that in the bus, like, you know.
The wee thing he's talking about Willie, right? And I told you about the Aberdeen thing. I got off the bus with the police and everything like that, and I'm getting held up. The driver's out getting talked about. Willie had been sleeping in the front seat. Absolutely blitzed for the day. The hour we went on the bus, early in the morning, Willie was lying there at the top of the driver, offering him fags. Mr. Hads had, it was Lent, so Mr. Hads was new on the drink. So he went on the front seat to keep Willie away for the driver, nice. But I'm out there getting questioned by the police. The door opens, Willie falls out. It was me.
Take me now.
It was me, I done it. And to let you know, guys, like, and everybody listening, Wally was on probation. But at the time, he was in serious trouble with the police. And that was Wally. I'll take the blame, Jack.
Get it on.
Good man, well done, Wally.
That was our Wally. Wally, the greatest guy in the world.
Absolutely.
Another.
And the very man who thought it was a brilliant idea to plank his carry up at Aberdeen. He was about to, I think he was close to getting caught with the police and that, but they were down at the beachfront having a carry on, so I ken what I'm doing, bury it. Went back out, the tide came in.
Oh, nightmare.
I'll be Wally.
Gone.
That's no good plan.
Superb, guys. That was fantastic. Thanks a million for it. And for all your input tonight. It's been a superb show, and thanks to everybody for listening. You can obviously keep in touch with us at carluckshamrock.com, but remember and follow all our good pals who are here tonight, of course, the Temporary Stand Boys. and all the other podcasts at hailhailmedia.com. So, on the panel tonight we have had
Johnny.
Scott.
Mr. C.
Mickey Boy.
Bridget.
fantastic lads, and until the next time, hail, hail.
Hail, hail.
Hail,
Hail, hail.
The thing I want to see the most is the Glasgow Celtic score. I've been to Munich, been to Paris and Berlin. I watched injustice fall upon you in Turin, and I've shared the pain and glory with the friends that I have made as I dance from place to place in green and white on a worldwide tin parade.